G'day and welcome to the 63rd episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast. This week we are joined by Danos. He fills in for Matt, who is off on his lore-based pilgrimage. We talk about the upcoming Crimson Days event. We talk about the Nightfall discussion that happened in the TWAB. And we talk about a whole lot more. So stick around, it's a good one. Cheers. G'day and welcome to the 63rd episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast. This week, there's treachery afoot. I'm joined, as always, by Sloth, but Mylan is no longer here. He is away. He is looking for the law to try and bring it back to his people. He wants to return the law. He told us about it last week. It's going to be an epic voyage. It's going to take him a couple of weeks, he reckons. So, in the meantime, we've invited on a very special friend of the cast, a fellow clanmate, an Australian legend, and a Destiny diehard just like us. He hosts his own podcast, so we're hoping that he brings some professionalism to this, because we've certainly got none to fucking rub together between us. Please make welcome Danos. How are you, brother? What's been going on?
Hey, everyone. Yeah, I'm doing really good. I've just been leveling my other characters in Destiny this weekend, and then just been enjoying the sun.
What is sun?
I know, it's weird, but it's a content drought, man. It's the only time I get outside.
Content drought. It's good for one thing. Getting some vitamin K, right? Oh, all right. We'll come back to you in a minute. We'll have a bit of a discussion about like the awesome things that you're doing for Destiny, is it right? But Sloth, what have you been up to? You've been
I
in
have
the
a
business
shiny
with the
head.
razor.
All right, I'll get it out of the way. I have a fucking shiny head. All right.
You have a very shiny head, man.
This week, struggle busting with some personal pain issues and all that sort of thing, but it's just one of those things that happens every now and again. So streaming only went live like 3 times this week, so yeah, it doesn't really matter. But it was good. It was a good week to sort of. Well, I mean, it was good until my wife had a car accident on Friday, but that's beside the point. But yeah,
did she get glare from the reflection of your head, and then there was an accident? Is that what happened? Nah, look, I'm only fucking around because I know she's okay, right? Otherwise, yeah, all right. See, there was that look of the like, log may well not live through this cast. Sloth and I had a really late night last night playing fucking Warhammer. So we were like,
fuck, that
we're both sleep deprived and hungover, but it was a hell of a fucking night. So, Danos, why don't you tell everyone what it is you do in our community and a little bit about the Destiny community thing?
Sure. So, yeah, Destiny community thing is just a podcast that I started with. Originally, it was with myself, but I've now brought in a good friend of mine, BK. BK Spleen on Twitter, and yeah, the two of us sort of just go around and chat to people within the Destiny community, and just sort of shine light on their channel and sort of what they're about. So that's basically the premise of the show. So we just want to, put some light around certain people. There's plenty of amazing people in the Destiny community, and sometimes they just haven't really stretched as far as they would like to. So it's good to sort of get them on the show, and hopefully they can expand their audience from there.
Sloth and I have had the pleasure of coming on, and it's one of those things that it's probably the only podcast thing I've ever done where I completely forgot it was a podcast and it wasn't just me and you having a chat. So it was probably a bit loose. I can't even remember. It was like, oh, thanks, man. Thanks for doing that for me. I'm like, doing what? Oh, that's right. That was.
Oh, right, the cast. Yeah.
It was the thing that I was doing. Shit, that was what all this was about, right? Not just me and you shooting the shit.
Yeah.
That's fun.
The DCT that Danos and BK run is definitely worth a listen, guys. It's on SoundCloud, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you can find it on
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud/Destiny community thing.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so definitely go and check that out, guys. Or go follow him on Twitter at the just search DCT. If it shows up with some sort of future war cult looking symbol, you found it. We'll link it. We'll link it below in the YouTube things, and we'll go from there.
Are you a future war cult man, D?
I am, and I'm very sorry. Yeah.
Why? Why are you so...
Because when I joined TA, I saw the rules, and I felt really bad that I was upsetting people.
No.
But I'm a future war cult guy and diehard. Lakshmi gives me life. What can I say?
and hope. Like with the clan thing, it's like that's just something to argue about. It's not a rule we in any way enforce. And even half of us are like, oh nah, New Monarchy's got the better gun. I'm jumping on that shit this week. It's just
that was only you. That was only you.
I don't know. A filthy sellout. I don't care.
Right. Fucking sellout.
All right. So there has been like every week we get to the end of the week and I'm like, yeah, there's not been much happen in Destiny this week. And then there's kind of like this. I mean, the TWAB comes out, but there's also this week the announcement of Crimson Doubles coming. So that'll be here right in time for Valentine's Day. I actually think it'll start on Valentine's Day in Australia. So if you're, if you're really hanging out to be romantic and shun the outdoors and not go out for dinner and just want to play some doubles with your significant other, you're fucking in luck, I'll tell you what. But we'll run through that and then we'll get into everything else that's been happening. And then at the end, we might just sort of stop and shoot the shit with everyone who's in chat and we'll do that. So Crimson Doubles returns the 13th of February, which, as I said, will be the 14th for Australia. But it is, I mean, I don't know what to make of this. I don't know if it's exactly the same as it was, boys, but it says 2v2 clash with a round-based twist. Twist. So are we going to see, like, it's going to get to a score cap? Or is it just... Because wasn't it 2v2 elimination when it was first around?
But you also had a buff as well. When the person died, you became...
Yeah, you became stronger, right? Okay,
so maybe you've got to get to a certain area and do like the Navy bloke kissing the nurse on World War II Victory Day in New York. You've got to, hey baby, and then you both get a fucking buff or some shit like that. I don't know. Like when Bungie says there's a twist, it's probably going to be the same thing. But I'm pretty keen to see that.
It's not going to be like drastic. It's clash, but every round goes for 8 seconds, and you've just got to charge and throw grenades and hope for the best. It'll be nothing that drastic. I'm sure it'll be completely manageable.
Every round goes for 8 seconds. Every married man's sex life ever. Sorry, I mean no.
That was the subtext, Sloth. That was the. But I mean, look, credit where it's due. There's a whole heap of loot coming with it, and none of it is tied to Eververse. So basically, you can go out, earn it all. It's going to be smart. It's going to operate in a checklist fashion, so that as you go through and you receive pieces of Crimson Days gear, that's off the list until you've completed the list, and then maybe you'll get duplicate rolls after you've got everything. But it does seem like it's, we've laboured on it on the cast a bit. It's been a big issue in the context of Destiny 2 and its release, the microtransactions and where that really sits. So it is good to see positive movement in a way. Like, it's good to see that they're, the Bungie classic, we're listening. But they're fucking listening, okay? It just takes them a long time to do anything about it. I've got faith. They've got fucking ears. I've seen pictures of Deej. He's got ears, definitely. So we can see. All right. So there's also going to be some specific rewards that you can unlock through the course of Crimson Days that you do by basically participating in specific activities, which I think is a good way of guaranteeing you can kind of get what you want. I mean, it's not the whole loot pool, but it is the more important parts of the loot pool. So if you complete the milestone Welcome to Crimson Days by finishing 5 Crimson Days matches and visiting Lord Shaxx in the Tower, you earn the Fire of Crimson Days emblem and the Tirastrella Ghost Shell. Now, I haven't got the picture, I'm not going to put it up, but can we just, as a quick aside, how do you guys feel about the new ghosts? Like the voluptuous ghosts, the ones that are like really round and like
the BBW ghosts, yeah.
I was trying to be fucking like flattering and you just obliterated it.
Hey, there is nothing wrong with BBW at all. You be proud of the body you're in. If you're a big bootied woman, you be a big bootied woman.
What about big bootied ghosts? Where do we stand on that? Because I don't like them.
I mean, if you want to be a big bootied ghost, we're all about acceptance here. Unless you're from Future War Cult, then it's a little bit of an issue. But
I I don't know. I've seen a lot of. There was actually a forum post about it. Can we stop making these ghosts because they're fucking ugly? And I agree. Like I know that they've got to reinvent the wheel somewhat to keep them interesting at all. But I just don't like the look of them when they got like. It's like they got fucking huge ears or some shit.
Hey, you having a go against Wingnuts? Have you seen my ears?
Have you seen?
Do
mine?
I need to take off my headset? Yeah,
No,
I have.
please.
You are a Wingnut.
Yeah, I'm a Wingnut.
No, but the shell's different. As Organic Gear in the chat says, welcome. Welcome, by the way. There's something different.
Right.
Like, we've just had skins and having a little bit of like what was it, the Devil Ghost shell for Halloween, last year or the year before? And it was just gaffer taped fucking wings and horns to it. Like, that was a little bit different, but like it was, they're a different design and more power to them. So, like you get a different shape and you can put different colors on it too. It should be all pretty. It's pretty.
All right, so
I'm looking forward to chasing them.
We're for the BBW ghosts. Is that where we've landed
Absolutely.
on it? All right, okay, we're for, right,
Absolutely.
good.
We're all about acceptance in the Destiny community, and I'm appreciating these new tiles.
If you're fragile enough to have not understood what BBW is, just Google it.
Don't Google it. Don't Google it. It means big booty women. Don't Google it. If you're underage, just say big booty women and leave it at that.
Ask your parent or a guardian to Google it for you. All right, so complete Crimson Days matches in the Crucible playlist for a chance to earn the Undeterred Exotic Sparrow. It's red and white. It looks like it's going to be pretty quick. But as we've seen with the other ghosts, I doubt there's going to be any kind of real stat perk to this ghost, right? To Sparrow, right? Like, we're kind of just seeing... I mean, they're all the same. Nothing makes any difference. Like, I think they need to get the exotic ones at least and make them faster than anything else. What do you guys think? You think it's... Do you care? Do you even, like, know what Sparrow you've currently got equipped?
Yes, I do actually.
What's it called?
It is the Trials of the not Trials of the Nine. It's a New Monarchy Sparrow. It's red and white. It goes fast.
All right. Well, that narrows it. D?
I've got the one from Osiris, so I couldn't tell you the name, and that's horrible. That kind of shows.
They don't matter, man.
It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, and that's a really bad thing about it.
There's no tumblers anymore. It doesn't matter at all.
No.
So, I mean, they do need to bring back the backflip Sparrow. That's what we really need. I miss my friggin' tumbling and just having Sparrow accidents. I've got the red and white one that belches smoke out the back of it. That's I don't even know.
He's got the V8. He's got the V8 one. Elon Musk must hate you.
I'm on other planets just fucking up the environment with my exhaust. Just
What about if it blows out hearts as like the trail? That'd be pretty badass.
That is fucking like all of the people who really really like the armor pieces from the last Iron Banner. They'd be like, oh my god, it's kawaii! Like just squealing for it. And more power to you. If that's what you like, that's what you like. I'll just stick with the ghost that gets me from point A to point B.
Sparrow.
Cars and ghosts, motorcycles doesn't mean shit to me.
I know, right? All right, so there is a have you seen the Wardcliffe coil skin? So you get it from doing the Leviathan raid or the raid lair. It's this steampunk skin. If they need to change the sounds for that, there needs to be like a steam engine. Fucking right. And it needs to play the Thomas the Tank Engine theme while you reload it.
It's outstanding.
It's a cool looking skin. Well done on the designers of that. It's a pretty cool looking skin. It's good that they're sort of expanding out, and this goes back to the conversation of, we'd rather have something new than just a reskin or something that looks very similar. They've taken a weapon that we've never seen before in the Destiny verse. They've made it, and then they've made it its own individual thing as well. So, like individualizing the individual, I guess you could say. It's good. I actually really really like that skin. So well done, Bungie, in that respect.
I like it. I think it's just a bit of fun, and I think that's sort of what. Well, I mean, it's not the only thing that's missing. I mean, content, but definitely. Definitely we're missing that kind of, like, I really love the crazy shit. Like, when we first saw the colony, I'm like, there's a grenade launcher that shoots fucking spiders. Bring it. I want more weird shit. I want more tractor cannon type stupidity in my...
The Crimson, dude. There's so much goodness.
It's... Yeah, I haven't even got that yet. I really need to pull my finger out and just grind. So there's also a few new emotes and stuff. The flaunting dance emote, which is not something that I'll be particularly worried about chasing, you will get from the Nightfall strike during the Crimson Days event. So if you really want to flaunt and dance, that's your avenue for that. But
that's me. That's all I'm after. That's what I want.
Really?
The most.
He wants the
emote. Yeah.
What's the flaunting dance? Is it? What does that entail? You want to give us a little show, Danos? You want to give us a little show on your wall there?
I haven't learnt it yet.
Oh,
Give me
right,
2
okay.
weeks.
So Sloth's just getting tangled up in headphone cables.
All right.
You look like a fish trapped in a net.
The
2 weeks and I
Crimson
have a
Days
video.
the Crimson Days are coming.
So the loot pool, I don't know. I mean, we've got the loot pool in front of us here. We've got the image of it. So there's a few skins. There's a heap of different ghosts. There's 3 Sparrow or 5 Sparrows, like a few different warping emotes and things like that. But I think the emotes will be the kind of thing that lives on. I mean, the armors look. Sorry, the shaders and stuff look cool. I mean, I love red and white. You know that. So that'll be me sucking into that. But
yeah.
I mean, that kind of left me thinking we're not going to get too much in this week at Bungie this week. But I was fucking drastically wrong.
Yeah.
I thought it's all just going to be guff about Crimson Days again. But there you go. So this whole Bungie doesn't communicate thing seems to be making this podcast run sheet harder to write, and that's good because it means we've got more shit to talk about. But right, so let's get into basically the guts of what was discussed in the TWAB this week was rejigging Nightfalls to basically both improve them for the user and make them something that's a bit more valuable and feels like an achievement rather than a race. I mean, as it stands, we've all done them, and it kind of gets to the point where, don't worry about shooting these guys, just run through because we're on the clock and whatever. I think they're gonna ultimately they'll move away from that type and it'll move towards a properly scored system, which is, I think a pretty cool change. I mean, we sort of saw the introduction of the scoring system with PoE in Destiny 1, and I don't know, I'd like to see them go back to like calling out the fire team that got the highest score in the Nightfall each week. I think that would be cool. I think there's not enough individual kudos going around in Destiny at the moment, and I hopefully they bring that back. What do you guys think? I mean, reading through the changes, there's a pretty long list of things that they're going to dabble with, so we might not get into drilling into all of it, but just if you've read through it, what points stuck out to you the most, dudes?
Well, what I'm seeing here is a little bit of not inter-clan, but like inside the clan competition. Like if you have a decently sized clan like TA or something like that, you could go, all right, let's do a clan day. Who can do the Nightfall A the fastest, B with the most points? So like it all sort of comes together. So you've got the team-based scoring. It's the sum of the individual performances. That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. And you could dead set go against like clans. So like if we went against NRG, we'd smash them. There's no ifs, buts, and maybes about it. But calling you out. So it's all driven by. So the time is overall, but it's all driven by kills and orb generation. So if you've got the masterwork weapons, you can spawn.
I didn't even think
all
about
of
that.
the orbs ever.
Yeah, right.
And then.
Yeah.
So it all snowballs into your final score. Now this is one thing that sort of caught my attention. The score bleed over time, so you decay. The team that clears it faster than the other team should score higher. But if you have come up against like a very difficult group of enemies, like it's got a really shitty modifier, you didn't set your guns up correctly or something, along those lines, it could really throw a spanner in the works. So I think they because they've made it more of a competition, they have, for a piece, at least the people who want to like do the battle, like do the clan battle or battle with their friends for scores and all that sort of thing, that's incredible. On the other side of the coin, is that if you're just going for a pug group, then if they set say you must reach this set score to get a particular drop.
Well, it looks like it looks like it's going to be that way. There's basically going to be like a threshold score that we'll touch on this. It's part of the rewards that it brings up in a moment. But I think like that, like the score bleed over time is just a necessity, right? Otherwise, you're just going to have people with scout rifles going through precision shotting everything meticulously over a fucking hour and a half period to get the absolute maximum score they get. And you know what, like, would it be cool for the 1 week for that to be the case? Yeah, maybe, like to have everyone just be really meticulous, but I think it'd suck overall, like if that was sort of what that game mode then became. But
it really, that's what they really tried to work away with. Like from Destiny 1 and 2, they wanted the Nightfalls to be much faster. Yeah. So that's you can tell that was kind of their goal. So it's good to see that sort of being brought in and a bit further to the front again.
I think so. And like doing it the right way too, where it's not just quick, you've got a timer. If you don't do it in the timer, you fucking fail. It's just 6 minutes. Yeah, quick.
But
run.
The next point that you've got here on the run sheet, mate, so the scoring cuts off after time threshold. So if you're doing, let's say, Exodus Black and it's taken longer than 15 minutes, you really have to rush to get to that 15-minute mark to get as far as you can.
Yeah.
Because any points you gain after that is 50%. At 18 minutes is 25% less. 50% less. 25 at 18 minutes is 75% less, and all that sort of thing. You know, like, and what you've written here is a good Nightfall clear shouldn't feel like a slog.
Exactly.
It shouldn't. It really should.
You should feel like a well-oiled machine, right? Just blitzing through it, right? That's. And I don't think there's enough of a reward for that outside of like trials, really. The only real rewarding thing now is just satisfaction of a job well done. You know, and that doesn't count for anything in the long term. You know, like you know how well you did, but this hopefully is with the basically you will get a Nightfall Emblem that then tracks your score. So scores above a certain threshold will allow you to unlock the aura. So that in itself then provides a buff to Vanguard tokens by 25%. So it has a use. You know, it's an aura to go, you know, you find yourself in a strike on a Friday night, you and one mate, and a guy joins in and he's got the aura and he's just helping you out because he's a good bloke and he's done the Nightfall. Maybe you haven't. You know, it's just one of those things. It brings back that, you remember the XP buff that you used to get when you first did Nightfalls that made them the thing that you did first every week. And you know, they were fucking hard. But you still jumped in and were like, what's the Nightfall this week? Everyone was talking about strategizing for it. It gave YouTubers things to talk about in terms of like, okay, this is the Nightfall. This is how you want to approach it. This is how I would. I think that they need to get back to that because as it stands, the kind of like, I've gone weeks and weeks and weeks and not done a Nightfall because the only thing I'm going to get out of it is another powerful engram and, you know, probably, you know, another fucking shit submachine gun that I won't use or something. But that's hopefully definitely what I think, you know, like if that whole, I mean, I don't know, I would have liked to have seen like, even if it, I know they'll never do it, but a boost to overall XP gain, like Eververse and everything. Can you imagine everyone?
Oh God,
how hard everyone would hit Nightfalls? It would be very generous. It would be very generous. And I don't really see it happening in this modern climate, but anyway.
For the people who go out and buy silver to buy Eververse, you know, there's not really much point in doing that, is there? So, anyway, now following on from the Nightfall, they're talking about changes to the raid and all that sort of thing. Now, I just want to tell you right now, the curated loadouts, that makes me very happy. Yeah, that makes me very, very happy. So if you haven't heard about this, if you haven't heard about this, just expand on it a little bit. So when the Eater of Worlds Prestige mode comes out, so you're one where you go down and punch old matey Argos in the face and get him out of the guts of the Leviathan, they're going to be bringing in curated loadouts. Now, what does that mean? That means that Bungie will set, you must use, let's say in the TWAB, they've used hand cannon as your kinetic, energy as a scout rifle, and power as a linear fusion. That is the first week of Prestige Eater of Worlds. So you must use that loadout. You must use a hand cannon in the kinetic slot, a scout rifle in the energy slot, and so on and so forth. So I'm pretty excited with that. I'm pretty excited with that. Week 2 is the expansion 2 raid lair. So they're continuing on with the raid on Leviathan because it is a huge ship. So more power to it. The modifier is Gladiator. Your melee damage is increased and melee kills grant bonus super. So Titans will be going in there, just fist flying, trying to stab every prick.
Oh, yeah.
The kinetic is a sidearm. Your energy is a submachine gun, and your power is a shotgun. So it's going to be very close range. Now, does that give any sort of clue to how close the how close quarters the second expansion is going to be? Maybe. Maybe.
So maybe just make it really fucking hard. It's a long range thing, and you load in with a shotgun. Fuck you, man.
You load in with a shotgun and a sidearm with a submachine gun. You get the raid submachine gun. It's kicking over here somewhere, trying to eat something 3 foot from you.
You've got to be on top of your ship while shooting the boss.
I think what's important to note. I think what's important to note out of this, and Joe Blackburn has done a great job sort of expanding on this, is that this is why the prestige mode for Eater of Worlds has taken so long, because they sort of realised that they weren't happy with where it sat as an activity, and have gone back and basically added a layer of challenge through this sort of like the loadout system, which for me I think is exciting, because it's also a toe in the water for this kind of system in the game in general, right? And there is another, I know that I'm probably not be the most popular dude in the world for saying this, but there is another game mode that really could do with this kind of level of the playing field, and it might just be the pinnacle of the PvP side of things too. Now, you load into Trials and you are given a specific loadout that you have to have, that you have to meet. It kind of levels the playing field. I mean, we will get gun metas, you know, there will be like, this gun's the best scout, this gun's the best pistol, this gun's hand cannon, you know, like that happens. But it also gives people who are interested in competing in a thing like that a reason to collect weapons outside of the weapons that they use every day, right? Like, I have had an auto rifle, a hand cannon, and a rocket launcher equipped for fucking a month and a half. Dead set. Like, I've barely changed it. Occasionally I'll throw the sword in because I'm like, I feel like cutting some cunts up in the Crucible. but you know what I mean? Like, it would give people a serious reason to go and grind for, you know, like, say, you know, Shax has got the best fucking auto rifle, you know, just for, I mean, we don't know. We're getting a rebalance patch and there's an expansion that comes along with it. So who knows what it may be. It gives people a reason to go and it gives content creators something to make fucking videos about, right? Like, this is the best possible loadout for this, and conjecture and something to talk about and discussions to be had around a serious, like, trade-offs and things like that. I don't know. I think it's a definite move in the right direction. I think it adds a layer of depth to it's like the raid. It will add a layer of challenge that is not there. And there, I mean, like, look at Esoteric going out there and he finished Eater of Worlds by himself. Like, that's fucking insane. Given that I can hardly do it with a fully fucking stacked fight team. But it'll make really things like that. What's that?
I haven't completed Eater of Worlds. I haven't gotten a completion on Eater of Worlds.
We're gonna have to fix that.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I don't feel a need to play it at the moment, because I think we've come to that conclusion a few times, and I'm not going to go into it why again. But like, I haven't done a finish before, so this actually might cause me to go in and go, there's some fucking challenge here.
Yeah.
And you know, it's not just you know, go through and just go through the motions. Yeah, go over here, shoot this circle. Yeah, go over here, shoot this red one. Fucking Resident Sleeper, you know, like. Fuck that. I would actually rather to see this. Now, with what you were saying about Trials, I would actually like them to take one step further, maybe add a separate Trials mode where you could earn extra gear or whatever, and have specific weapons, not weapon types, but weapons in each slot. So you don't have to, like, there's not that meta thing. Now, that, like, you also made a good point about YouTubers having something to talk about, the Destiny community having something to talk about. If you're going to use a scout rifle, holy shit, what should we use?
None.
The You know, like these are the things that are causing some good chat in the Destiny community. It's actually really good to see, especially after this TWAB.
I'm just totally thinking off the top of my head, but what if Trials gave you a loadout that was like a predetermined loadout of Trials of the 9 weapons, so everyone had the same loadout.
Yep.
And if you either like ranked up enough or got enough wins on your card, and it was like cumulative, so that people could grind it out if they really wanted to, then you got to keep the fucking weapons or a weapon or whatever. You know, like it worked that way.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
You know, then people can go. People can go. I can. Oh, the Trials fucking auto rifle this week is insane. I really want it. And even if you're not the best player, you can grind and whatever. I think the other thing they need to do is they really need to look at bringing back like the adept versions, like that whole.
I would love to see that.
I'm not saying that from a place of like, oh, I'd have all the adept weapons because I'm fucking average and we all know it. But it just gives that level of like, this is only achievable one way. Like I had that reflection something that I used for fucking 2 years in Destiny 1 because it was just like, I was proud I had it. I loved it. It was a great gun and it was a good gun. So, but I think that's kind of the thing that, you know, those little things are missing. Those little finishing touches of like the real grind, the real thing that matters. And as much as part of it is just getting out your e-penis and measuring how big it is next to everyone else's. Fuck, it's the internet. We're playing games online. That's what it's all about, right? It's better than doing it for something than for nothing, right?
Yeah, this whole thing, both from the raid and everything, really sounds like they're just putting weight and worth back on all the loot. That's honestly what they're doing. Like, you know, now with scoring, you're going to be more efficient. You're going to really think about what you have. You know, with the raid loots and all these like challenges and that they got coming, you're going to have to really think about what weapons and that you have. And that's good. That's going to really just keep you wanting to come back to Xur and, you know, grind and everything. So it's good to have that weight back. I think that's the biggest takeaway I got from the TWAB.
I think the other thing too, and this is just looking down the pipeline of the roadmap that we saw last week, the exotic rebalancing. And I mean, as much as that's further down the line, like that for me is probably one of the things that I'm looking at with most interest, because I think we've all come to the conclusion now that Destiny 2 exotics are kind of just like I could happily run without an exotic. You know, maybe not a piece of armor, because some of the armors do have really cool perks, especially like the Kepri's Horn and things like that. You know, there's cool shit sort of in there, but the guns especially just feel like the perks on them don't feel powerful enough that's like, oh, this is the gun that I'm going to build my loadout around, which is sort of where it came from in Destiny 1. But I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things that we're going to have to wait and see what happens. But for me, it's a very important upcoming part of the release.
Yeah, no, definitely something I'm looking forward to for sure.
All right. Well, what we might do now is, if you're in the chat, if you're rocking on, kicking back, having a good time, hit us up with any questions or anything you'd like for us to discuss. Because as much as we can sit here and go through what we want to know what you want too, right? So, you know, ideas, let's share them. And if you've got anything you want us to talk about, please jump in. But I don't know. I mean, I think that you're right, D, in that the focus of this is really getting the worth back into the loot, right? Like that is ultimately where we need to get to, because right now the activities don't feel like doing, because like they're worth doing, because
so what's the point?
You're just going to get more shit, like, right? It's just, I'll get more legendary shards. Masterworks are cool, and having the chance to get a masterwork is cool, but because it's so low, like, even in that, you're like, I don't know, I can't be bothered. I'm not going to get anything out of it. Like, maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm lazy, but I'll have bad luck. Who knows?
Yeah. It just encourages people to get back in. Like, some people are purely, you know, wanting to just help out because that's just what they want to do. But then other people obviously want and need the loot to keep them going. So by just bringing that weight and worth back, people are like, yeah, I'll jump into the raid, I really want blah, or I'm going to get a chance of getting exotic. Awesome. Like, you know, and then that gets them back in the game. So it'd be good to have that, because that's really what kept us a lot in Destiny 1. It's like, oh, I really need this, you know, I need to chase this, you know.
Yeah.
So it'd be good.
That's really what's not there at the moment. Spoon asks, what's with Danos? What's with Danos and his scary lack of shoulder showing? Look, it's something that It's something that we're going to be honest about right here. We have a quota that we've got to to reach. You know, that one sleeveless person with a occasional overflow into two. So, I mean, Matt never wears sleeveless shirts, so we have to keep it this way. Otherwise, it just upsets the integrity of the podcast because not everyone can look like a fucking idiotic lumberjack. Okay. Like, we're going to try and keep some kind of respectability going on here, and that's why we've got Danos on this week, because otherwise it'd be a dude in a fucking lumberjack flannel and a dude in a wife beater just being angry about things, right? So that's why we are where we are.
You're a fucking nonce. I'll bring up something that's happened over the past week or so. Just while if Chad has any questions in regard to the TWAB and all that sort of thing, microtransactions as a whole, now it's fucking been done to death in a lot of the gaming community.
Yep.
But some countries are actually moving to make microtransactions flat out illegal in video games and will not allow said video game set companies to do business in their country. I.e., at the moment, Sweden are looking into making because it is a form of gambling, air quotes, if you're not watching live or not watching the video. It is a form of gambling, and it is predatory to a degree, especially in games where it's make things quicker after you pay the $60 American or $100 Australian straight off the bat. What's everyone's thought process on that? I know Log and I pretty much share the same thought process, but Danos, what's your mind's eye tell you about that sort of situation? Good thing, bad thing that countries are starting to make the move?
One moment. If we're going to talk about microtransactions, I'm going to go get another beer. I'll be right back, okay? I just need to lubricate my mind, man.
Yeah, it's something about it, isn't it? It's just...
Sorry for interrupting,
just the word,
please.
But yeah, I'm a little bit for it. So like I said, Sweden are looking into it. New Zealand are definitely looking into it. So this is all after Battlefront 2 with the bollocks that they've tried to pull this year. Last year rather. So I fully agree that is the way to go, but it has to be worldwide, like it has to be set. The standard has to be set worldwide. It's just, you can't have one country going, where you can't sell it here because we don't like it, as a whole, and just bans it as a whole, and then another country, say Australia, where they go with the ESRB rating and changes it to R because it's got gambling, because that doesn't do anything. Some countries may not go far enough, other countries may go too far. So, what's your thought process on it, Danos?
I definitely think it's something like it's good to see it being looked into in that way, because I am very much of that opinion that it can be literally, it is the slot machine. Like, some things are completely unattainable or are a very, very, very significant amount to earn it in a way. I've always felt like this even when it's been in the mobile game space. And yeah, I just think it's something that the countries dive into it further, and then come up with an opinion. But yeah, very much like, I don't know how it's going to put the developers in an odd space. Like, if it's completely legal in the United States, then like they're probably not going to do anything. And what does that mean? Do they just not
market size? It'll come back to market size. Like, if it's friggin', I don't know, like Zimbabwe make it illegal and no one else does, then stiff shit, it just won't get released there or whatever. But if it's significant parts of Europe, it's probably that'll be where it'll start. That'll be where it'll start, if anywhere. I know that there's a senator in Hawaii that's also pushing for it. That's really not a fan of it. So it'll be. I just want to see what the discussion is around it. For me,
it definitely needs discussion.
As a consumer, right? I think it's fucking it is just, it's playing poker machines, man. And it's just throwing your money in, hoping you get the thing you want. Like, yeah, fair enough, you don't get money back, but you get a thing of worth. It's just gambling of worth. It's no different. I think that the other thing it does is it masks half-assed content, right? Like, you can go and you can get one good thing and put it into a loot pool of fucking 20 average things, and people are going to buy that loot pool, end up with the 20 average things to try and get the one good thing, right? So it's just half-assed content creation. So if they made it so you could just buy whatever you wanted, they'd make heaps less money because they don't bother to develop the content as well, right? So if everything was developed well enough, I think they would be able to support themselves financially through direct purchase systems rather than this kind of like smoke and mirrors shit that they pull with microtransactions now. Like, I've bought microtransactions. I've bought them in Destiny. I've made them. I've bought silver or whatever the fuck it is now. I've bought shit off Eververse. I'm not judging you if you do. If you've got the disposable income and the will to do it, like, that's fine. This whole shit about, oh, we all need to fucking band together and make a stand, and if no one ever buys a microtransaction again, they'll stop it. It's fucking completely unrealistic. You know what? Like, tweet, talk about it, have discussions on Reddit, be fucking polite to each other, but don't, like, tear the shreds off each other about that, because that's just dumb. If you're in a financial position to be able to do it, do it. But understand what you're buying into. Understand the system that you're paying into. I don't do it now because I'm sort of at the point where I feel like I've been burnt by it and I don't want to do it anymore. So maybe that's what it takes for some people to get, to really build an opposition to it. But I don't know. I mean, it's one of probably the most contentious issues that everyone seems to agree on anyway, right? Like, no one wants them. Everyone thinks they're shit, but we still have these big blown out arguments.
Yeah, no one wants them, but people still buy them. And if you buy loot boxes, I know plenty of people who buy loot boxes in Overwatch, plenty of people who buy shit in the Eververse to get what they do. Good for you. I personally am not gonna come at you angrily because you're buying it. I say vote with your wallet, but that's me. I can only control what I do. Now, what I would like to see, especially with the politicians getting involved, is actual talk about this. Because do you remember a few weeks ago? I don't want to go too far into this because there's actually questions coming through in chat related to Destiny.
What?
But the WHO said that gaming is now a sickness. It's a mental illness.
Oh, gaming addiction is a medically recognised illness. Yeah,
it is medically recognised illness, and that's fine, But I would like to see the countries, so the UN. As much as it's probably so far down below the fucking UN, what needs to be sorted, some sort of advisory group that says to countries, all right, you have to do it this way, because if you don't, like, it could really fuck over the consumer. Like, I couldn't give a shit about the conglomerates, EA, bloody Activision, and all those companies can go take a flying leap off a short plank, like it's those bits. Yeah, you're sort of picking up what I'm putting down. It's really
we get it.
I'm tired.
I think that's I mean, at the end of the day, to get some, I mean, there needs to be studies done into it, because it's one of those things. It's effectively like, I mean, especially in the sense of, like, now that being addicted to a game is an addiction, right? And if you're addicted to a game that has microtransactions, it's effectively going, right, it's like going to an alcoholic, buy this beer. I'm not going to tell you how much alcohol's in it. I'm not going to tell you how drunk you'll get, but buy it. And you might get drunk. You might get what you want out of it, you might not. There's an element to it that's fucking insidious, and I think I defy anyone to argue that. But let's move on. Let's move on, and we can fucking be here all day.
Exactly. We're passionate. That's
dudes.
a
Big Shug asked an incredibly fucking good question in the chat. So, what would your perfect Crucible meta be? Now, for me,
what would be the perfect loadout or the meta?
No, the meta. Like, what would the best time I've ever had in Destiny PvP was when the pulse rifle meta was strong, right? When Red Death was a fucking must-have. A, because Red Death was cool as fuck, and B, because, like, I don't know, I find pulse rifles satisfying for some reason. It's just part of the way I play. Right now, I use Better Devils like every other sucker, so like, I would like to see that come back. I would like to see a shift towards pulse rifles, maybe just for the sake of something different, because they're not really prominent at the moment. There's a few that are good, the Lincoln Green, things like that, but for me, that would be mine. Boys, what do you think? Like, what would you like to see a shift towards? We'll call it that. Not like a whole meta. You don't have to.
What would you chuck it in there first, Danos?
Yeah, I'm similar to Log. I really enjoyed the Pulse meta. That was definitely highlights. I really liked doing Pulse Sniper, that kind of deal. That was awesome. I actually didn't mind having the shotguns and stuff in there. I thought that was quite good when it sort of became shotgun first.
You've won meta. You've won.
You know what? I'm gonna support that entirely, provided because it doesn't matter so much to me now. Because you know what used to fuck me up? Being a shoulder charging Titan when people had shotguns all the time. As long as we don't go back to fucking what was the name of the bloody fucking the Iron Banner shotgun?
The Fellwinters.
As long as we don't go back to that.
Because
I literally got one once they made it shit. I reckon they need to make a Destiny 2 sniper rifle called Fellwinter's Lie. I reckon that would be the best nod of all time.
That would be good.
Fellwinter's Lie has the range of about 2 feet before the rounds drop off.
I'd love to see a basic mode where we go back to similar something in the beta, where you kind of just given these default kind of average guns, and that kind of balances things out. I'd like to see just a mode or something that does that. That would sort of be my preferred PvP. I definitely like that in Battlefield, where you could have default guns and you go back to just everyone has the exact same loadout and you have to play. And I really enjoyed that. So
fair enough.
Slothy.
Fair enough. I mean, I don't want to be one of those people that goes, "You need to bring back this gun," because there's more than enough of them.
Yeah, well, there's fucking 2 of them in this podcast, man. You got a problem?
Yeah, I'll fucking do. Fight me. I'll see you here. Flagpole, 3:00. No, it's. I also favour pulse rifles. I really enjoy the Hawksaw. I did not take the Hawksaw off in PvP.
Oh, it was a fucking good gun, man.
From when I got my God Roll one in TTK to Destiny 2. I love that gun. I love it. That one I will take every day of the week. I'll take a Saladin's the Branded Lord that came in with Rise of Mine. Branded Lord fusion rifle, and heavy wise, I'll actually take a Merciless.
Oh,
I'll take Merciless.
Yeah, okay. You'd want to see Merciless. I mean, Merciless is still a very good gun. Make no mistake. But I don't know. I mean, I never got heaps into fusions. I'd rather see shotties rather. I mean, we're having these weird discussions now because the power slot's so fucking congested, really. Like, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know. You really sort of got to define your loadout. Clever Dragon and Grasp of Malik too. So, there's some fun. I mean, I wouldn't want to go back to the Clever Dragon. Remember when Clever Dragon was just... Oh.
So
that's a bad example of pulse rifle meta. I don't want that one. I want the one from like a year and a half before that. Tractor cannon meta. Let's
get stuff.
You know what they need to... would you play a game mode, right? All right, I'm gonna ask a question, and we're gonna just sort of spitball on this. I think the whole competitive thing, the competitive and the quick play, just the 2 playlist thing, I think that sucks. I'm going to throw it out there. I can't remember the last time I even remotely felt like playing a competitive game, and it's just boring. And I don't know this, but I guarantee you the player population in it right now would be absolute pants. There'd be very few people in there playing it. But I think they need to just explore game modes a little bit, right? I mean, especially with upcoming sort of release of private games.
Rift. Bring back Rift. Bring back Rift now.
Don't. You make me cry. I miss it. But would you play a game mode where everyone had a tractor cannon?
Yes.
I would.
Yeah, I would.
That sounds
really
fucking great. Even if it was just every week they brought in like a random silly fucking playlist where shit was like that. Or everyone has a tractor
traveler, and you're stuck in the.
Just
with the tractor cannon.
Imagine there's a Rocket League football-esque pitch inside the Traveller, and you've got tractor cannons. You've got to belt the big Traveller-shaped ball that shows up at the tower. Like just go around and just like you can tractor cannon your mate into the side of the wall and just go like just falls over, Guardian down. Yeah. I would play the fuck out of that.
You know,
I just
had this idea, right? What if they bring out the opposite of the tractor cannon, a gun that sucks things towards you, and then all you need is a bomb or something that you can throw, like in fucking Griffball, and you've got a sport. Everyone's got these guns that either throw or fucking...
Oh,
you know what I mean? And it's just fucking...
Yes, please.
You can catch it from a distance. Why are we not making games? I mean, it just sounds so easy when we go
This is the thing. This is the thing. That a lot of people get wrapped up around the axles. It's really good to go back and go, yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
but we're looking at all this stuff through rose-colored glasses. Yeah. We really are. Like Halo, like when Griffball came out, when Griffball came out, I thought it was shit. I thought it was absolute shit. But I actually grew to love it at the very, very end, and I was like, oh, Griffball, I haven't played that for a while. Fuck, that was a good game. And then the last match I played, goes, this is fucking bullshit. Had it up for this fucking crap.
Oh, I mean, like for a game mode, it was so prone to cheese. Like, remember when people used to get on your line and just spam the hammer? Like, I reckon 80% of Killionaire medals in fucking Halo came from people doing that. There is no way in the world that fucking people were genuinely getting a Killionaire medal outside of Griffball. Well, I don't know. I think Destiny could really do with like just having that like. I mean, it's kind of funny because all the game modes are serious, but it seems like they've really peeled back the seriousness of the actual story and the universe itself. Like, I mean, I would have been happier if it had gone the other way, where the lore and all that sort of shit stayed really serious, and there was just sort of dumbish game modes and tractor. I mean, the tractor cannon's a great fucking weapon, and it's a great little. It's exactly what I think people are, like when I first got it, I'm like, what the fuck? It doesn't even do any damage. What is this shit?
This is horrible, yeah.
And then once you get your head around it, it's beautiful.
Well, what about the, I really enjoyed Sparrow racing. I really enjoyed the Sparrow Racing League.
Fuck yeah.
I would love to see, like I missed out on season 2 because I was over in England, but like I came to hate that motherfucking forklift on Earth. But that was good fun, like because I remember Log and we jumped into a private match with some of the other TA boys, and like they were so far ahead of me because I'd never played the track before, and I hear 3 people at the same time, fucking forklift, like that. Like that sort of shit. I would love to see Sparrow Racing League come back. Honestly, I really would love to see that. I would love to see that.
This has been good. So, it's turned into less talking with the chat and just Destiny hopes and dreams.
It's always good. It's always like we've said in previous weeks and on Twitter and all that sort of thing. It's always good to go back and remember the good times, but you've also got to remember, like year one Destiny that brought like Destiny. Year 1 Destiny was the most fun that I've had in a video game for a long time, and I'll always look at Year 1 Destiny as my favorite time in Destiny. But the PvP was fucked. You could the leveling system was not great.
Yeah.
And then like
PvE so bad. Oh my god.
Like everyone looks at it rose-colored glasses.
Yeah.
And you could say, take it back to Destiny 1. Well, no, because you were the one, like you, I say you as in me, were saying fuck this game back then as well. So, like,
I think we can agree on one thing, though, that no one at any point is going to be like, hey, remember the great content drought of 2017, 2018? Those were the days.
How good was the Sticky Nates meta in PvP U3?
Oh, how good was sidearms? How good was sidearms in U3? How good was the wormwood?
We did this with Destiny. We had a great time.
Next week we need to do something right. We're gonna do the shittest things you remember about Destiny. Just to talk, just for this, for a fucking. Just tell us the one part of a meta that you hated, or.
Oh, it was great. We went back as Destiny Raiders, and everyone was just playing like Year 2 kind of stuff, right? And then someone goes, "Oh, why didn't we enjoy this?" And then I hear Yasin, he just goes, "Oh, let me remind you, changes to hammers, just sticky sidearm. Everyone's like, that's why I hated it.
Yeah, that's why it sucked. Because there was one small part of the fucking setup that was out of whack. And it just annihilated everything. I don't know. I mean, I guess if nothing else, it just proves that this whole massive fucking system that governs Destiny is an incredibly difficult thing to balance. And at the end of the day, there are hardworking people working on it, and that's all we can really ask. I know a lot of people jump up and down about what the fucking Bungie doing, but I dare say they're people who have no comprehension of how much work actually goes into things. So, look.
Well, I mean, I think everyone's been there as well. Everyone's been in that state. I know I have. I've been going, what the fuck, Deej? Knowing full well that Deej is literally, he is the mouthpiece of the company for Bungie, for Destiny. For Destiny, he's the mouthpiece.
I don't think Deej has ever created an in-game asset at any point. Yeah.
I mean, as far I don't know the dude. I've never met him. He's probably fairly intelligent, but for all I know, he could fucking struggle opening his mailbox. We don't know these things. Don't be that person that jumps on the mob mentality of let's jump on Bungie because it's the fucking meme of the week or the month or the year. Come up with your own fucking ideas.
Yeah, that is true though. Chris Barrett is our saviour, and I hope he's got big shoulders. He's gonna need them.
I always have a conflicting view with it though, because I understand what it takes to build software and I test software. So I work in that quality assurance space, right? I sit there and I've got the brain of like, I know how complicated this is, and I have empathy. But me as a player, I'm just like, fuck.
It needs to be it needs to be fixed. It needs to be fixed. It needs to be fixed right now. But everyone's gone through that. That's what I'm saying. And I think I actually want to retract a statement that I made. I can't remember if it was on here or on my own channel. There, certain individuals of the Twitch community are saying that, Destiny's dead and Destiny is shit and this, that, and the other. They can say that. Their opinions are their own. And they can say that. But
you know what? The thing
us
is,
as the greater community, come up with your own opinions. If you don't like the game, why don't you like the game? Don't say it's because, for instance, a particular streamer with 35,000 fucking subs and all that sort of thing said, I don't like the game because it's shit. Well, why? Why is it shit? Why don't you like it?
That's my pet. That's my new pet hate. When someone attacks you about something you've said, and you're like, well, why don't you like it, dude? And they're like, well, such and such said this. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. What do you think, man? What? If you've got to quote someone else to fucking support your own arguments, just fuck off.
Oh, no. It's good to quote it, but actually have some substance on why you hate it. Not because, don't go onto the Bungie forums. And I don't know how far this reaches. Don't go onto the Bungie forums and just go to a post that Man at Arms has put up, doing a parody of Destiny because he still enjoys doing that stuff. And go, Destiny is shit. It's dead. Why?
Nah, dude. Well, you're on the forum for it, so it's not completely dead, is it? Anyway, let's look. This is exactly what I feared this episode would become. Me and Sloth just No,
but you're picking up what I'm putting down though. We will always be positive about Destiny as a whole because Destiny Destiny has brought people together. Literally.
Yeah.
Like Moxie and Ben. They're married.
Yeah, people get married. It's just fucking crazy. Anyway.
Yeah.
Right, well, look. I don't know. I mean, let's just close out on this, dudes. What have you been doing? What are you going to do through the week? What are you looking forward to doing?
Danos, what are you doing?
I'm really looking forward to. I love what I'm looking forward to the most in Crimson Days is it's just another opportunity for me to connect with more people I haven't played with yet. So I've reached out to people. I've got a couple of my good friends who I see all the time, but I've reached out to other people on Twitter and just said, hey, do you want to team up now? It's doubles. We'll give it a crack. So that's what I'm really looking forward to for Crimson Days. I try and use any of those events like Iron Banner and stuff to do that as a way of connecting. Because it's the only real time that people will be willing to come back, even if everything is going bad. They'll often give it a chance for those kind of events. So yeah. Crimson Days, looking forward to playing with some people I haven't, and yeah, it should be fun. That's basically what I'm looking forward to this week.
Good.
Slothy?
What are you looking forward to this week, Log?
Look, I mean, last week, I spent all of last week looking forward to playing Warhammer. I know that sounds bad, but it was
that was fun. That's so much fun.
Sloth and I have been having such a good time with it. You know, it's one of those games because it's such slow, like it's so slow paced. We spend heaps more time talking shit with chat and me playing guitar and fucking whatever. So it's a bit like that. But this week I'm looking forward to Crimson Days. I'm looking forward to jumping into that, and I'll definitely be doing a stream. And I'm actually thinking about maybe doing a stream where I'll just jump in by myself and and just do one game with anyone who wants to turn up. And if you're anything, and we'll chat for a game, and then after that we'll cycle it out, and I'll play with someone else. So if you're on Xbox and that sounds like you want to come and just talk shit with me for a fucking 15 minutes, then there's your window. But I actually reinstalled the Division, and it was not something I ever saw myself doing. But I guess it's I can't sit here and say that I want people to give Destiny a chance down the line if I'm not willing to do it with a game that I thought that I gave up on. So I'm going to try and open my mind a little bit to that and just kill some time until Sea of Thieves comes out, and then I really ignore everything else. So that's where we're headed.
It'll be a struggle getting him on the podcast. It legitimately will be a struggle. I've got OBS set up to run
this. Is another thing. I've had a lot of, for the most part, I manage the DDU Twitter. Everyone seems to assume that it's
for the most part. You fucking do. I don't even have to
everyone
log
assumes
in
it's
for
Matt. I don't know, because for the most part, it's responsible. Just no one thinks I can not be a dickhead for 5 minutes. But I've been getting quite a few tweets with people asking, people concerned for the future of the podcast and things like that, because Destiny's in such a rut, and I guess there's other casts that are just sort of, they're on hiatus or they're doing what they're doing. I honestly don't think that you're ever going to have to worry about that here, because the thing that we have here is just, I look forward to getting on and talking to my friends, right? And Destiny can suck ass. And we could not play Destiny for 3 weeks and still turn up, and that's Destiny is the pretext, right? It's the background that this is set to, and I really don't want anyone to worry that we're just going to up stumps and fuck off. Right, that's not going to happen. Even if we do start talking about other games like we're doing now, we've all got to get through this sort of rough patch together, and realistically, we're all going to dabble in other things. But we're always going to be hanging around, talking shit, and doing what we do. So please, if you're listening to this right now and you have tweeted me over the last few weeks, don't stress. Right, we got you.
Don't stress.
Don't stress. We're going nowhere. Matt's completely gone, actually. Fuck, what if he's just left? He's just thrown down a smoke grenade. Fuck.
He's fucking targets down, patchy out. He's fucking shade stepped out of here.
He's put the big goose step on, and look, I'll be back in a couple of weeks. Poof, Mylan gone for forever.
He's gone and living in a cave in the Himalayas, just going, the law.
It's all right. We'll just get. Danos has done a pretty good job. If you want, maybe we can just get D straight in with fucking happy days.
Can you grow a man bun and a beard that goes down to about here? Is that?
I'll work on it. Yeah,
right,
this is about 2 days of effort, so yeah, it should be fine.
Hey,
Jesus Christ! Your 2 days looks like my 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, you do have a shit mo. Anyway.
You know what? I'd be offended if it wasn't 100% true. All right, Slothy, what do you got planned for the rest of this week? You getting back into streaming on the reg or what?
This week, so hopefully if my back doesn't play up in my sleeping schedule, it doesn't end up being 100% fucked instead of 98% fucked. It should be right. So Monday night, get back into some Ark. Check out the new changes for the TLC updates from Ark, and check out Kieran catching his fucking wyverns, flying around on dragons and stuff. So that'll be good. Tuesday, we'll do some more Bloodborne. Now, the rest of the week, however, I'm actually really excited. I received a code for a game called The Hunt Showdown recently. I'm actually pretty keen to see if it'll actually run on my computer, for one, and then B, if it'll actually stream on my computer. Because it's an FPS PvPvE, similar to Tarkov, except it's set in the 1800s. You're hunting giant hellbeast monsters, and you're also fighting other players as well.
Sounds pretty badass.
It absolutely. It looks incredible. I was watching.
Consider my interest peaked.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited. There's a few people in the community who want to join because it's like teams of 2. So a few people in the community wants to jump in and do that. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Hopefully my consoles and my cap cards start working again soon.
Have you got anything in the? Are we all just praying for slots consoles? Is that where we're at?
No, I mean the Xboxes.
Pray for the consoles. What sort of capture card you got? What sort of capture card?
HD 60s, and I think it's dead. I actually think it's dead. Yeah, so I might need to get another one. Might go and get a Mage Wall or something if I have the cash. But yeah, regardless.
Shout out to Ava Media. Mine's still going strong. Thank you very much.
But yeah, that's my plan for the week, mate. That's my plan for the week.
Well, on that note, I think we might say goodbye to everyone and go back to our real lives and real fucking responsibilities and all that sort of shit. There's a huge electrical storm above me when I went to get a beer. I went out and I was like, holy shit. And my daughter says, you better get off the computer, there's lightning. And I've been in here for another half hour. So there you go. Right. So provided that the lightning doesn't strike, the video will be up for this in about an hour or so. So rock and roll. Thanks for coming on, D. It's been a pleasure to catch up with you again, man. As much as we game and whatever. Well, not all that often these days, but we do. It's nice to get you on the cast, and we'll have to make more of a habit out of it, man, because it's been far too long.
Yeah, appreciate having me.
No worries.
So, guys, if you're looking for information on Danos, make sure you check him out at twitter.com/Danos Destiny and twitter.com/DestinyCompod. DestinyCompod.
Yes. That's someone else.
It's Destiny Thing Pod. I wish I was
Destiny Thing
Pod, but unfortunately,
Destiny Thing Pod.
I'm not as good looking.
Yeah. So. No. Destiny Thing Pod. Not Destiny Compod. I mean, you should check out Tefty anyway. It's a good cast.
Yes. It's actually better than mine, but yes.
Do both.
It's better than this
so make sure you check him out. Make sure you check out Log at twitch.tv/LogPowerSlave and this other fucking random Matt. Twitch.tv/Mylan Games.
Merlin? Is it Merlin?
Yeah. And YouTube.com/Mylan Games as well if you want to check out some lore and some good videos of late. In regards to BRs and microtransactions and all that sort of thing. It's actually a really, really good, well-written couple of episodes. So check that out as well. Guys, thank you very much for hanging around. If you have any questions or any comments on the cast through SoundCloud, YouTube, or Twitch, please either at DDU_podcast on Twitter or leave them in the comments below on YouTube. SoundCloud, just find us on Twitter. We're there. We'll answer. Don't know how.
There's no comment function on SoundCloud, is there? I think there is. Actually, I don't think anyone ever uses it, but so cool. Just tweet us. Please tweet us. I don't even know if I know how to check it.
Tweet at my retweets or something. I don't.
Tweet us.
Tweet us.
Right.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We have been the Destiny Down Under team with Special Guest Danos. Thank you for coming on, man. Guys, I will do the Mylan this week. I'm going to be creepy and the law will find you. Maybe look under your bed. Who knows?
Fucking hell, there was a lot of bass. There was way more bass in that than Matt. Like, you've got him covered, I think. We might sack him when you get back, just on that part. You can do that from now on.
Sack.
All right, peace. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.